Yeah, quite a few of you. My job today is to take you from where you are right now in this session and show you why it's not years away, why it's not months, why it can be in as little as weeks away, to show you the path every single one of you can do to start getting results, to start seeing these people coming and start getting calls booked in and start getting the commissions coming in for yourself as well. So, the reason why we're going to be looking at LinkedIn, now please also remember to understand here, team, this is just one method. This is just one way to find these clients. There are so many different ways. What I'm going to be sharing with you today is what I have found to be the easiest and the quickest way for you to go from here to here as well. Give it all number 2 in the chat if that makes sense. I'm not saying it's the only way, but I'm saying this is what I found to be the quickest and simplest way that means you don't need technical experience and we can start contacting with the right people. Beautiful. Apologies, team. My throat is hanging on by a thread. I believe that thread is my last vocal cord that is connected. I'm going to do my best to try and keep my energy going as well. So, quick bit of a crash course in LinkedIn. Now, for me, when I first looked at LinkedIn, I genuinely thought this is what LinkedIn was. Okay? Which is, you go on LinkedIn when you need a job. You go on LinkedIn, you put available for work at the bottom of your photo. You then go on some interviews, you get a job, you change it to in employment, and then you shut your LinkedIn down for 5 years until you need a new job. That's really kind of what I thought it was. But the power in LinkedIn is that LinkedIn is a business social media. LinkedIn is a business social media. It is so much more trusted than all of these other social media. In the world that we live in today, we've got to be utilizing the power of social media. But which one do you think is more professional when we reach out to someone? When we reach out to someone on LinkedIn, we speak to a project director on LinkedIn, or we try and find them on Instagram and send them a DM. Of course, it's going to be LinkedIn, isn't it? So, the amazing thing about this team is on LinkedIn, just here, is every single client you could ever want for the rest of your life, team. They are just a message away. And in this session here, I'm going to show you how you can do this. And by the way, team, I'm going to give you live examples from my own personal business as an agent. I'm going to give you live examples so you can start to see how powerful this can be for you. Go ahead and give me a me in the chat. Who is excited about this session, by the way, team? To be able to connect those dots to find these clients and start getting these big, big commissions coming through. Beautiful. So, first things first, team. The very first thing we need to do, we're on LinkedIn here. The very first thing we have to do, I've just seen the me's, there's a bit of a delay in the chat. So, Frank, Patricia, Sis, you can see all the me's coming in right now as well. Fantastic. So, the first thing we want to be doing here is, if I go to my profile, the way I want you to think about LinkedIn, your profile is, it's like walking up to someone. Pardon me, sorry, team. So I'm walking up to someone at a networking event and just saying hello for the first time. I.e., what does this say about you and who you are? Are you going to be taken seriously? Are you going to have credibility here, team? Zoom in one more for you. Oh, actually, no, made it worse. That's actually better. The very strange. Zooming in made it worse. So as an example, the best way to describe is that am I walking up to someone at a network meeting, wearing a suit and a tie, looking them in the eye and shaking their hand? Or am I walking up to someone at a network meeting, wearing a vest with food stains around my mouth, going, all right, mate, like, which one's going to be taken more seriously? And it's the same principle when it comes to your LinkedIn profile as well. So the first things first, team, our profile picture. Okay, our profile picture just here. You see my mouse? Yeah, I think you can. My profile picture just here. The first thing we want to be doing, team, make sure you have a professional photo on there. Now, it doesn't need, you can see this is actually me with my first ever book I wrote. But it doesn't necessarily need to be with a book. But just make sure you've got a good photo. Make sure it's well lit. Okay, make sure it's professional. The next thing we need to here, team, is this little section up here. This is what we call our LinkedIn banner. Our LinkedIn banner. Now what this means is some of you may have a big, like 3 grade blobs here, like 1, 2, 3. Anyone, give me a 3 in the chat. Has anyone got 3 grade blobs at the top of theirs? Where mine says Meta-dology, anyone else have 3 grade blobs on it? You got 3 in the chat? Yeah. If you do, you need to get yourself a LinkedIn banner. Okay, now for those of you making a great decision to join Meta-dology, all of the branding is given to you. You just have to download it, paste it in there. Now, the first thing we're going to be looking at here, team, and this is really optimizing our LinkedIn profile. Now, you see this little bit here. This is where, team, most people just go ahead and they type their job title. In fact, give me number 2 in the chat. Who has got their job title in this little section here? Give me a little 2 in the chat. Who's got their job title in that bit there? In this little bit here, see. It'll say Sam Druce, and then it's got their job title underneath it. Yeah, a couple of people, right? But the funny thing is, it's a common thing that I see time and time again. To be completely blunt with you here, team, there are only 2 people on this planet who care what your job title is. You and your mum. They're the only 2 people that when we start talking about ourselves, people lose interest, don't they? What I want to do, rather than wasting this incredible bit of real estate on my LinkedIn profile, rather than talking about me, who should I be talking about, team? I should be talking about them, shouldn't I? Does that make sense? I should be talking about them. Someone should come to my LinkedIn profile and within a minute should be able to see that's a professional photo, it's well branded. And what we want to be doing here, team, everyone will ask the same question, and it stands for, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? So as an example, you can see here, rather than Sam Druce, Global Business Development Partner, it's about me. Now listen to this here, team. Partnering globally with developers and C-suite to save on average 8 to 12% total costs on $2 million plus projects and accelerate off-plan sales for early cash flow, driving growth in residential and commercial projects. Give me a 7 in the chat if that sounds pretty damn good, by the way, team. Give me a 7 in the chat, that sounds amazing. Yeah, again, immediately, you come to my page, you know that I partner globally. If you're a C-suite, great, I'm the person to speak to. You can save me 8 to 12%. Oh, and you can accelerate my off-plan sales for early cash flow and your driving growth. Can we see just by little tweaks here, team, when I'm reaching out to maybe a project director, a CEO of a company, can you see the level of credibility we're now adding to? Give me a yes in the chat, by the way, if that makes sense. By the way, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can start doing this today and how you can get it up, don't worry. So as we scroll down, we see here my about section. None of this is about me. All of this, team, is screaming out to my ideal client. Who can I help? Property development is high stakes, margins are tight, timelines are unforgiving, and every delay or cost overrun eats into profits. This is what many developers are facing. This is how we can then start to help you. Send me a message for more information. I'll be happy to share a 4-minute video. Do you remember, I think it was the last, I'm losing track of time here, team. I think it was the last session. Do you remember when I showed you, all you have to do, team, is get them to watch a 4-minute video. All you have to do is get them to watch a 4-minute video. Team, give me a 4 in the chat. Who remembers that? Give me a 4 in the chat. Beautiful. Just give me 1 second. I've got a T right here. I'll be back in approximately 4 seconds. Have a beautiful, fresh green tea from my wife. Thank you so much, baby. Yeah. All of it. If you get them to watch that 4-minute video, team, they'll book in a call. We always want to have a call to action here. And we can see here, get your experience on here. Global Business Development Partner, Meta-dology. If someone scrolls down, they should see that you are a part of Meta-dology, because it doesn't matter how good all of this up here is. If I scroll down here to your activity, and I don't see Meta-dology on here, can you see that I lose trust here, team? Does that make sense? Give me a 5 in the chat if that makes sense. Oh, my wife just made me an unbelievable honey lemon green tea. We will keep this voice, team. We will keep this voice. Fantastic. So, can we see just by these slight little changes, immediately, these slight little changes, all of a sudden, now, when someone comes to this page, immediately, our credibility is up here. Frank, you sent me a request. I'll tell you what, Frank, let's have a little look here. There we are, Frank. Wait, which one do I? I'm joking, of course. Here you go, Frank. I've accepted your request there, Frank. Beautiful. So, a little bit of a crash course, team, in how LinkedIn works. Okay, LinkedIn, like we have on Instagram when someone follows us. Okay, when someone follows us, on LinkedIn we have connections. Now, as an example, so now Frank and I, we are connected. Frank is my first connection. I can send Frank a message right now. But, now that Frank is my connection, his connection, i.e. someone that Frank is connected to, I can't send a message to. So the way that LinkedIn works is they make it all relationship-based, which is all well and good here, team. But what happens if I want to speak to one of Frank's connections? Well, there's a very, very simple solution, team. And it is called LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Give me a yes or a no in the chat right now. Who here has heard of LinkedIn Sales Navigator? Give me a yes or a no if you've heard of it, team. Let's have a little look here. Yes, perfect, sis, great job. What do you think? Yes or no, team? Patricia, yes. Team, I'm impressed, by the way. I'm impressed. We've got some good people on here knowing what LinkedIn Sales Navigator is. I'm impressed. Well, for those of you that have never heard of it, it is a minimal investment. I believe it's about 100. I think it's like $97 US a month. I can't remember exactly what it is. But if you've never used it, you have a free 30-day trial. So use that 30 days to find your first clients, get your commission in, and then buy it for the year. But by using LinkedIn Sales Navigator, for this small investment of just $97, we can speak to every single person on LinkedIn. Now, let me just go ahead and show you this here, team. Now, as an example, this here is a search that I am currently using at the moment. And by the way, when you join Meta-dology, feel free to take it. In fact, by the way, for those that join Meta-dology, once a quarter, I do an update on this training and the whole AI training. I do it to every single agent that's on board. This isn't a case of, oh, you've joined, off you go, good luck. No, team, we're here to help and support. As soon as things change with an AI, I'm here to help. You can be in the chat, that's reassuring, by the way, that you're not just off you go, good luck. We're actually here to help and support you on that entire journey. Beautiful. So, on the left-hand side here, team, you can see we have a couple of different options. Now, these are options for me to be able to try and find the right people that I want to speak to on LinkedIn. Now, first things first, we have company headcount. Now, all you have to do is, if I click the little plus button here, you've got self-employed, 1 to 10, 11 to 50, 201 to 500. So as an example, I don't want to be dealing with self-employed people probably, maybe 1 to 10, but I probably want to be speaking to people with 200, 51 to 200. I probably maybe want to be speaking with people that are 11 to 50. Can you see all I'm doing, team, is I'm just clicking on or off. Just clicking on or off. These are the people that I want to be speaking to. Why? Because the bigger companies that we're dealing with, there's a higher chance of them having bigger deals. And the way that I look at a team, the way that I look at business and life, is if I'm going to, as an example, let's say, for instance, if I'm going to get a deal with Meta-dology, the same amount of time, energy, and effort into both of these deals. But deal number one gives me $5,000 commission, or deal number two gives me $100,000 commission. Which one are you going to go for, team? Deal number one or deal number two? Which one would you go for? Yeah, go for deal number two. And we can separate that out by the company headcount. Now, as we scroll down here, team, look at the current job titles I'm looking at. Why am I going for job titles like Chief Development Officer, Head of Development, Director of Development, Project Director, Real Estate Developer, Chief Executive Officer, Owner, Co-owner, Founder, Co-founder? Well, because do I want to speak to the entry-level people who haven't got any experience, or do I want to go directly, team, and speak to the owner of the company? And Frank, you have nailed that. June, nailed it. Both of you are exactly correct. I want to speak to the person who can make the decision. I want to speak to the person that can make the decision. I don't want to be dealing with the thousands and millions of people here. No, I want to speak to the owner of the company, the head of development, the one that can say yes or no to booking in a meeting with Meta-dology. Very, very powerful. The reason why this is so powerful is so many people, rather than going up here, they come down here. They want to come down here. And they want to try and find the people at the bottom. Why? Because it's quote-unquote easier, isn't it? That's what they want to go for, the quote-unquote easier calls. I don't want to be doing that, team. From there we have a seniority level. Director must be director, vice president, CXO, or owner and partner, or above. Again, we're just making sure we're speaking to the decision maker. Now, when we look at the geography here, team, I've chosen to do things a little bit unorthodoxly here. So for me personally, you notice England isn't on here, the United Kingdom isn't on here. Now for me personally, I've chosen as example United States, Brazil, Indonesia, Argentina, the Philippines, Colombia, Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand. And I've done this for a number of reasons. Firstly, I want to be dealing with people in countries that make quick decisions. The Latin American countries, quick decisions. America, they make great business decisions. They go on their gut feeling. Southeast Asia is such an explosive new market. there's also a second reason here, team. Because to make things something very clear here, team, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not giving you any financial advice here, team, but I reached out to my financial advisor. And I spoke to my financial advisor and I said, well, as a hypothetical, if I got a deal in maybe Colombia, and I was the one that did the introduction, would I be able to fly out to Colombia to meet the developers, to help them plan out their next 5 years of development? I mean, give me a yes, by the way, if that would be super useful. If you got your first deal, you flew out to where that country was, and you sat down in person with them to map out the next 5 years, to not only see what commissions you can earn along the way, but then also to see which projects you can actually fit into. Give me a yes in the chat, that would be amazing, by the way. It's so much value for the client, right? Well, I asked my accountant and my financial advisor, who also recommended that might qualify for a business trip. And for me personally, I've just chosen countries around the world where I'd quite like to go and visit, either again or for the first time. Give me a little yes in the chat if that makes sense, by the way. Again, this is when we start thinking like that entrepreneur team. Now, from there, industry, construction, real estate, and commercial real estate. So, I want to ask you a quick question here, team, and I'd like to try and get an answer from everyone here. In construction, real estate, commercial real estate, from these countries, USA, South America, Brazil, Indonesia, Argentina, Philippines, Colombia, Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Thailand. Minimum director, vice president, CXO, or owner and partner across these job titles, with the employees anywhere between 11 employees all the way up to 10,000 plus. How many people do you think are going to show up in my search I'm doing here on LinkedIn? Now remember, this is quite niche down, isn't it? These are very, very high level job titles. Very, very high seniority levels. How many people, team, and let me know, I'd love to get an answer from every single one of you. How many people do you think are going to show up on this search? What are we thinking? How many people do we think are going to show up on this search? 100? 23? So look. Not many, but highly qualified leads. So team, the reason I'm telling you this right now is for you to understand the opportunity that stands in front of you right now. If there were only 23 options on here, I mean this with love, team, I wouldn't show you. I'd take all 23 for myself, wouldn't I? But I want you to see the sheer level of opportunity that's out there. Bear in mind, this is maybe a tenth of, a fifth of the market just in the country. Probably less than that. But, team, take a look at this. 290,000 results from those countries alone. Please give me a wow in the chat box if that has blown your mind. The sheer opportunity in front of you right now, by the way, team. 290,000 of them. There is more than enough for everyone to go around. By the way, this misses out all of Europe. It misses out all of the Australias, all of Australasia. It misses out all of China. It's only a tiny 4 countries in Southeast Asia. No Canada, no England, no Europe. See, there are millions and millions and millions to go after. You need a handful of these. From 290,000, you need a handful to make truly life-changing money. And it really is that simple thing. President, CEO, project director, executive director, owner, Elevate Your Real Estate, owner, Pensacola, Florida, operations director, builders, CEO, co-founder, managing member of Macbeth Construction Team. The list goes on and on and on. See, there is enough people up here for every single one of you on this call to have 15,000 people each and still have 90% of the world left over. By the way, go ahead and give me a me in the chat who is now even more incredibly excited about this opportunity, by the way. Who is now even more incredibly excited about this opportunity, having seen the sheer number of opportunities that are out there for you specifically. Thanks, Diego, no problem at all. And again, see, this is the reason why. When I first saw Meta-dology, even having a 7-figure coaching business, which I still run, by the way, I have a 7-figure coaching business and multiple 6-figure agencies. But I can promise you one thing right now, no opportunity I have ever seen in my life is the same as the opportunity with Meta-dology. In the next 3 to 5 years, this will be my main business, just as an agent. Just as an agency. So, now we've seen the sheer opportunity of how many people we can speak to. What do we say? When we reach out, what do I say? How do I, I'm just going to click this button, send them a message, what do I say? I've never worked in construction, in real estate. This is a president, a CEO, I'm just me. Anyone here heard of this tiny little tool team called ChatGPT? Yeah? ChatGPT. See, we use ChatGPT to do the legwork for us. And by the way, you can see here, you just go ahead and copy this. Open this up here. Put these ones down. Meta-dology.com. By the way, on Meta-dology, does it give all of the information that you would need to know? Yeah, 100%, but all of the information is here. Why do I need to try and reinvent the wheel? Mike and the team have done all the hard work, putting everything on these pages. Look how far this website goes, team. Look how far this website goes. Not only that, team, but if you look at this website here, I'm going to go ahead and paste that one. Here is a list of all the success stories. Some of these you've seen, the Metro Digital Twin. We've seen that one. Foster's Farm, we saw that one. That's the This Is Money. Land of Nomads, Laura and Esther Evans. Mount Royal. All of these things. This is proof. This is evidence of the sheer power that Meta-dology works out and Meta-dology does that helps with. So if I now come back out here, listen to this. Analyze these two websites below. By the way, the reason why I've already pre-done this is just in case there's any tech issues. I wanted to show you this as well. So rather than doing it in real time, I've just got it saved for you. Analyze these two websites below. From these, act like an expert on LinkedIn marketing. Create a, zoom it again for you. Oh, where's it gone? That was one too far. There we go. There we are. Create me multiple opening connection request outreach messages tailored from these videos for high-level employee or owners of construction real estate business give the best and highest chances of them accepting my request. Also create me multiple templates for follow-up messages if they accept my message to engage the conversation further, with my intention, my side of being to get them on a 30-minute call. Now, let me just show you the level that ChatGPT came into. And by the way, this took seconds, team. This took seconds. Based on what I can see on Meta-dology, here are a few observations. The USPs, and it stands for unique selling point, living, breathing, explorable world. The messaging angle / value, why it matters to the owners / high-level execs / real estate. Help to differentiate from better vendors, offering some positions you more as a tech innovation partner. You can frame how you reduce misalignments, cost overruns, delays, and etc. approval and sales. Help overcome skepticism and positions you as a partner, not just a vendor. Look at all of this information straight off the bat. And by the way, team, how much technical ability do I need to be able to do this, team? Let me know in the chat, how much technical ability do I need to be able to do this? Zero. We're going to scroll down and look at this. Here are 7 connection requests. Template A, the reference and curiosity hook. Hi, name. I've been following their company or project. I help real estate and construction leaders convert early stage designs into immersive, interactive 3D environments that reduce misalignment and accelerate sales. Would love to connect and share a couple of insights. No pitch. Why is this so powerful, team? It's not because ChatGPT created it. It's because it created it, by the way, from Meta-dology's own material meaning. You know this is correct, team. Can we see the power map? Can we get a yes in the chat if we can see the power map? We have template B, C, D, E, F, G. And look, it even goes one step further. After they accept. Once they accept, you have a permission to talk, but you must nurture it carefully. You don't want to push too soon. Follow 7 follow-up templates that progress from value sharing, diagnosing, to call. Use them in a sequence spaced 3 to 5 days apart. See, it's building out a marketing plan for you here. Hi Name, thanks for connecting. I thought you might find this interesting. You recently worked with a developer who cut design up by 30% using a 3D prototyping pipeline. If you like, I can send you a short case. All of this, that team. When I first joined, I had no idea what any of this meant, by the way. No idea what a 3D prototyping pipeline. I don't need to. I don't need to, team. It is pulling all of this information for us. Now you can say, as an example, now make the follow-up messages twice as long and go into more pain. They'll be having and diving deeper. Great. Now they're a little bit longer. You can see they've gone even deeper into the pain. Follow-up number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. All the way down, like I say, now make these more relevant and more formally written to speak to a C-level exec and directors. Now look at this. Now it's thank you for connecting. I appreciate your time. All we have to do here, team, as we're building these out, we copy, we paste. And you can see now create me 3 follow-up messages across a 2-week period to re-engage these people that do not respond. These do not make it pushy, but formal and engaging. See, all of this is just at our fingertips. All you have to do, team, to be able to start getting these results. First things first, optimize our LinkedIn profile. From there, we use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to find the literal hundreds of thousands of C-level exec and above people. And we use ChatGPT to give us that opening credibility, the industry lingo, the industry knowledge, and from their team. It really is that simple. By the way, go ahead and give me a me in the chat if that makes so much more sense. And you can see, just by using LinkedIn, ChatGPT, and LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can see the sheer amount of people that are here and now a path to be able to reach out to them. Now again, of course, we have limited time together here. We're going to take a short little break in a moment and come back for our final session. But those of you that do join us, those of you that make that smart decision to be able to start reaching out and start working with us here at Meta-dology, I have an entire training session on this that every single one of you can go through at your own pace, step by step. So team, go ahead and
with that, we'll lead up to the break. But unbelievable to see how much bigger